So now we've talked about arguments. Let's look at 1.3.1 exercises in our favorite book by Nicholas J.J. Smith, page 13. The directions here said to symbolize out the differences in the conclusion and the premises. That's what we were just doing. We're trying to set this up as arguments. I'm going to do it in a way, I'm going to try all the different types just so you get a look-see at what they look like. Number one looks like so. If the stock market crashes, thousands of experienced investors will lose a lot of money. Premise one. And then this one, it goes right like the equal sign at the bottom. Conclusion, the stock market won't crash. That's a weird one, right? Only one premise on that one, and then you get the conclusion. Number two, diamond is harder than topaz. Premise one. Topaz is harder than quartz. Premise two. Quartz is harder than calcite. Premise three. Calcite is harder than talc. Premise four. And then I got my 3 dots right on this one. That's the therefore. Therefore, diamond is harder than talc. And I think on the exercises, it's all one big long sentence. But you can see they're obviously making different claims in that one sentence. All right, the next one, I actually have it in different colors because this whole this is the style where you put a premise, comma, and then you do your little backslash therefore conclusion. And you can see it's kind of a cumbersome way to do things. Now, when you're actually symbolizing these out, it's not going to look like this. So it looks really ugly here, but when it's all written out. But when it's symbolized, these things are going to look a lot prettier. So yeah, I put different colors. I don't even know what the colors look like, to be honest. My screen is so jacked up. I got this from my buddy Kaiser, this screen. Thanks, buddy. It's a big screen. It's nice, but the color ain't right. Anyway, I think I looked at this color and I like it looked cool. It looked like green. I like green. That's my favorite color. And I looked at it later and it said that it was teal or something weird. Anyway, any friend of yours is a friend of mine. Premise one. You're friends with everyone on the volleyball team. Premise two. Backslash therefore. If Sally's on the volleyball team, she's a friend of mine. Conclusion. And finally, and in this one, here's what I'm going to do. Typically, when you do this stuff, when you list them all out, and you go, top to bottom instead of all written out nice and on a line. Oftentimes in books, they'll number the premises, and then sometimes they'll number the conclusion, especially because you use the conclusion to do other things. And the reason they like to do that is because later on in the book, you could say, oh, remember when I was talking before? Yeah, premise 2 on this one. Just look at line 2, and it'll be an easy reference point for you. And sometimes, in fact, they'll go through like a whole chapter, or sometimes even the whole book, and every time they do a syllogism or something like that, they'll number like a new number for each single proposition, so that by the end, you're like at proposition 100 and something or something. Yeah. Anyway, number one, premise one, when a politician engages in shady business dealings, it ends up on page 1 of the newspapers. Premise two, no South Australian senator has ever appeared on page 1 of a newspaper. 3, the 3 dots, therefore, no South Australian senator engages in shady business dealings. Actually, I think most likely you would put that therefore outside of the 3, so that you could use that later on, the 3. Anyway, there is exercise 1.3.1.